G'day, hi, and welcome. Okay, it's finally a nice day and I gotta go out there and get some work done, but I thought I'd plow out a few more of these videos because, why not? Okay, stage confidence. I gotta tell you about the very first time I ever played live in front of a crowd. It wasn't a big crowd, it was on the back of a flatbed truck. I was a teenager, and all my other buddies were just as nervous as I was. I was so nervous, you're gonna laugh, but I've had this cord probably well over 20 some odd years. I was like this trying to plug it into my amp. And then I was like, okay, grab it, put it in there, And you have these butterflies, these, it's like whatever. And you get this overwhelming shot of adrenaline and everything and nervousness, like, because you're at that panic moment that, okay, it's about to start. And oh my God, okay, what if something goes wrong or whatever? But it's like you feel like you're going to the gallows. It's that kind of a bit of a stage fright, right? Because what if people don't like it, whatever? What I've learned is even when people don't like it, they usually still clap. They'll leave. That's all. But anyway, we played the first time and it was great. The second time was even better. And then after a while, I didn't get stage fright. I don't get stage fright anymore. It doesn't matter. I've played in front of crowds. 1,500 people, 5,000 people, I think was maybe 15,000 was the biggest crowd I ever played in front of. No nervousness whatsoever. Why? Because after a while, it's just like, okay, well, you can use that energy and put that nervousness into your playing. I do get hyper and excited, and I watch out for that because then you play too fast. And when you play too fast, you play sloppy, right? So sometimes before you start the song, it's like, okay, just take a breath, then go into it. Collect yourself before you go into it. Don't feel like you have to rush it, because I remember one gig, I think it was my the first or second gig that one of my drummers and I did, and it was his first or second gig, and we played so fast because he was nervous and excited that we ran out of all the music like really quickly, and we had to do some do-overs. It was like the Blues Brothers where they kept playing Rawhide over and over again. Well, we had to do that too. Yeah, but yeah, the thing is that yes, just understand that you might be a little bit nervous, and that's okay. That is okay. You're not going to die. People are going to enjoy it. Just do the best you can do. Concentrate on your job. Collect yourself before you start the song, then start the song. And if you're, look at your band members not as just band members, but a team. And before you go on stage, make sure everybody's good. Get out there, do some sort of a motivational, whatever you got to do as a group, because you're going through this together, or you're going through this by yourself as a solo musician. Either way, the feeling is going to be the same for each one. So it's not just you, And when you get up there, just enjoy it. Just learn to enjoy it. Just understand that your first few times that you play, you're going to be a little bit jittery. What happens, and I remember there was this one guy, I watched him, and I seen him at a jam nights a few times. And the first time, he was singing and playing. He played the guitar okay, but you could not hear his voice because he was so nervous, right? It was just like whispering in the mic. The 15th time I seen him, he was just letting it howl. He was finally getting comfortable on stage, and it will take a few shows to do that. So start off with small shows first. That really does make it easier, because when you start off with the smaller shows, okay, you don't have as big as a crowd, you might not be as much nervous, but if you just, very first time you ever play live is in front of like 15,000 people or 150,000 people, if you're lucky enough to do that, that's probably going to overwhelm you. It's like, you might even get a little bit woozy, like there have been people that get such stage fright that they actually pass out on stage. There's some people that get so terrified they turn their back to the stage, to the audience. Never turn your back to the audience, unless you're going to jump out and do something funny. But always face your audience, always engage with your audience, but just take it in. Just take it in, just enjoy it. It takes a while to relax. Usually about 3 or 4 songs in, you start to relax a bit. But your job, and what gets people is that when they get nervous is they start to forget things. If you're one of those people that, oh my God, I'm forgetting the lyrics because of the crowd, well, bring, you see over there on my music stand, bring the lyrics with you. if that gives you a little extra confidence. I'm usually, I can, improvise enough, and if I forget a lyric, I'll just repeat something. Most of the time, if you don't make a big notice about it, the audience won't notice anyway. You break a string, you don't make a big deal about it, the audience doesn't know. I've had that happen so many times. You just keep playing. Show must go on. And that's all I can really say, is that you really just got to accept the fact that you might be nervous the first few times. And sometimes it takes people longer to get used to it than others. Or if you haven't played live in a long time, and then all of a sudden, hey, I'm nervous. I've never been nervous before, and that happens too. Just be deliberate with your movements, Be deliberate with your picking. Be deliberate with your putting the cable in. Just don't try to do it soft. Just put it in there. You own that. Own it. You know what I mean? So yeah, you will get through it. And the high you get when it's over is like, wow, I can't believe I just did that. You're going to be high for a month, even if you played in front of 5 people. Like it's just the idea of the accomplishment of it. And even if the first gig, like I said, your first gig's probably not going to go according to plan. You're going to have mishaps. Don't take it personal. Don't freak out. Don't get upset. Don't get emotional. It happens. Right? So, I mean, the Beach Boys, their very first gig was the worst gig they ever did. People booed them off the stage pretty much. They were just complete disaster. And these guys were musically talented to begin with, but it was just one of those things that they didn't, when you haven't done it before, it's the unknown, right? But then look what they turned into be, you know what I mean? So if the Beach Boys sucked on their first gig, what makes think you're going to be the best? That said, 9 times out of 10, usually you don't suck that bad on your first gig. You have mishaps, and make sure your guitars are tuned. Whatever. Take your time, do all that stuff before you get to the venue, and then just refresh it before you go, and take your time with it. Don't start until everybody's ready to go, because there's nothing worse than one guitar's not quite fully tuned, but oh my God, we got to start playing, or else it's like we have to start playing. Make sure everybody's ready. If it takes a little longer, get there a little bit earlier just so you can prepare a bit more. Don't get there so early that you psych yourself out, though. Get there early enough that you give yourself a little time to take care of anything that might not be up to par, or that last minute, whatever. But yeah, if you have to write things down, bring it on stage with you. The lyrics or whatever. Lyrics are the only thing I worry about forgetting. The guitar playing part I usually never forget. It's so ingrained in my memory. I've played every song that I've played a gazillion times, so that's no problem. But sometimes I know when you're nervous, you will forget things that you would normally know how to do, and then you'll kick yourself out. Oh, I forgot how to do. Let it go. Let it go right away, because the next time it's going to be better. And just work your way that way. So. Take your time, and the reason I'm going to really stress taking your time is that count 3 before you start your song, like 1, 2, 3, then go. Because if you just go right to the song, you're going to start the song too fast. Get the tempo. Make sure that you start the song at the proper tempo so you're not just playing so fast. Because we tend to play way too fast when we're live. It took me years to be able to slow it down a bit and understand that. And I didn't realize that until I recorded myself. Now, record your first gig for Sentimental. You can use it as a learning tool, but I would just, bypass that first gig as, wow, next time I need to do this. You don't bother critiquing it too much because it's your first gig. Your 10th gig, you should critique that one pretty good. Because that way you can improve on your show. Because by that time, you should be pretty comfortable with what you're doing. Me, I get very comfortable on stage very quickly. Crowds don't bug me whatsoever. The size of the crowds don't bug me. I tend to feed off. The bigger the crowd, the happier the crowd, the more I feed off of it, the more they feed off me, and back and forth. And it just becomes a great thing. But the thing is the tempo of your songs. Make sure that you're not starting too fast. That's why take time. Make sure that you make your drummer realize, if you have a drummer, that, okay, if you're a little nervous, if you have to have like the digital metronome there on silence, use whatever it takes, but make sure you don't start off too fast if the drummer's counting you in, because they tend to go tick 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 and then right into it. And it's like, whoa, slow it down. You know, tell them count 3, then, you know, think about the tempo, then bring it in. You'll do yourself so much more favors there, because then as soon as you start off too fast, everything falls apart, you know, because what happens is that you can't keep up to the speed that you're playing, or the singer gets winded really quickly. A nervous sounding singer sounds like a singer with a vibrato bar stuck to his throat or something like that. He sounds like a whammy bar when he's singing. So again, slow it down so he can really breathe and stuff like that. And if you're the singer, same thing. Slow it down so he can breathe. Don't play so slow that you lose the ball. Know the tempo of whatever the song is, and make sure you come in on the tempo that you need. That'll help you a lot, especially if you're nervous. It'll help you a lot, because then you're more relaxed. You're not as tensed up and stuff like that. Next to that, just go through it. It's going to be a great experience. Yes, the first few songs are going to seem like forever, but once you start to settle in and relax, the night goes by so fast. It goes by like a blink of an eye. It really does. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at about that. It's about the best advice I can give. And the more you do it, some people, they always get butterflies every show. There's some people that just have higher anxiety than others. Other people, you know, you got to check them for a pulse, you know, on the first gig. Whatever. I had one guitar player, he was so nervous. Again, the guy played guitar just as long as I did, but he'd never played in front of a crowd before, and because he was so nervous, he broke 3 strings on one guitar and 2 strings on another guitar, and he ended up using my backup guitar, and he broke a string on that, and then in the second set, because he was just so nervous, right? And then after that, you know, he became like just a complete party animal on stage. Him and I always had so much fun, going around stealing all the beer. Oh yeah, it was fun. Yeah, you know, the band between him and I, we always ended up stealing the complimentary beer on everybody. Yeah, good times. To Mike, yeah. His first gig was it was tough, but he still played well, you know. He still played very well, but he was just really nervous, and stuff like that. But once you lose the nervousness, you enjoy yourself. So, you know, just understand that it's a thing. All right. So anyway, make sure you smash that subscribe button and the like button. Share the video, and have yourselves a great day.